means. What do you think the word means?
Hey, I could cite you from a physics textbook that you're wrong.
Notice that I said if there's no gravity, right, and if we are in a container, the snow globe Earth, air pressure will be equalized everywhere inside of the snow globe Earth.
Okay.
If we can find a single instance of a pressure gradient in the atmosphere, then that would definitively debunk at least the snow globe model. Maybe
find a pressure gradient.
No, it's observed.
Nobody observed.
Wait, what? Nobody observed that.
Kima, what the hell do you think an altimeter does?
It's definitely
trolling. He's an idiot.
Device that needs calibrating.
You're just
No.
And what the altimeter does, Chemo, is it actually measures a pressure difference, and it correlates that to the height above mean sea level.
Which needs calibrating.
We literally use
Forget fancy equipment. Drive up a hill with a bag of potato chips. I mean, everyone's done that. I mean, this is so simple. It's ridiculous. This is like third grade science.
Have you been below sea level?
Yes.
Get the reverse effect?
Yes.
Now you have to lie about it.
No, Chemo. I have been below sea level. You do get the exact same effect.
Hold on, let's see you go below sea level.
Go to the freaking Dead Sea. You can see it. It's not hard.
Good done. That's the.
I have been to the Dead Sea. Yes.
With a balloon.
You don't need a freaking balloon. All you need is a freaking altimeter.
Yes, Chemo. No, Chemo. That's all you need.
No, you have to recalibrate your altimeter. Temperature.
No, because you set your altimeter to sea level, and if you go below sea level, it will show you that you're below sea level. That's what an altimeter does.
Hang on while I recalibrate my potato chips.
Yeah, drive up in a car, a sealed car, where the temperature is constant with a bag of potato chips, and there's your proof right there. Super simple. Or with a balloon, if you like, because a balloon, as you drive up, the balloon will magically inflate in the car with the same temperature.
Yeah, have you below sea level? Reverse effect.
Yes, Chemo. We've just said that. Why do you keep asking the same damn question?
Because you're not posting the evidence.
You don't need to go below to get the reverse effect.
Why?
You just have to go because you just have to go down.
You could fill up your balloon on a mountain and then go down.
Yes, I've done that too, and I've been to Death Valley, which is below sea level and above water. So yes, to all those questions. So all your bullshit, Chemo, and lies are just bullshit and lies, and incredibly transparent on this topic.
Well,
He's not lying. He's just
demonstrated that you've been below sea level.
No, he lies. He's been told this and shown this repeatedly, and got his ass handed repeatedly. He is patently dishonest.
So no evidence.
I actually do believe you.
That's fine. We still have no evidence for that.
Chemo. An altimeter measures atmospheric pressure. There are hundreds of thousands of them working in aircraft.
I just
all over
told
the
you
world.
they need calibrating when the temperature.
So,
And if you actually got out of your little apartment and went hiking into a mountain, you would have quite easy proof there of the difficulty in breathing on a very personal level. I mean, this is such a stupid. This is like one of the dumbest arguments, and you've made so many dumb arguments. This has got to be in the top 3 of the dumbest arguments ever from Flat Earth, which is impressive.
It's not my
Chemo.
fault you can't demonstrate there's pressure.
Chemo, I can demonstrate. I'm pretty sure I've told you this before. I will pay for, after all this COVID shit, I will pay for you to come to New Zealand. What we'll do is we'll fly to 14,000 feet in my helicopter. You're not supposed to go above 12,500 feet for more than 20 minutes. We'll stay up there until you fucking go to sleep, and you'll sign a waiver before I go that you're a dumb fucking flat earther and that I don't have to descend once
There's
you go
a fresh idea, Jazz, and we've never heard that 30 times before.
Okay, so that's good. Chemo should accept that offer.
He already accepted it.
You get a free trip to New Zealand and you get a helicopter flight in a scenic country. Let's do it. Let's do it. So you accept that once you go to sleep above 14,000 feet, I don't have to descend, because I'm going to stay up there I'm going to stay up there for an hour. I'm going to be on oxygen so I can fly the helicopter. Otherwise, okay, you accept?
So you're going to take a 1 hour flight in a helicopter.
Above
And
14,000
this experiment is reliant upon Chemo falling asleep during the 1 hour while he's in a helicopter.
No, he'll definitely fall asleep. He'll definitely fall asleep.
This is what I'm trying to say. Chemo's just saying that there is. I don't know if he's saying there's no such thing as a pressure gradient. Of course, I'm not going to let Chemo die. I'm not a fucking serial killer.
How are we going to control for the fact that you will put him to sleep? You're the control variable. You're
the control variable is the freaking air. He's going to pass out because there's not going to be enough oxygen.
Exactly.
No, but the problem Jazz puts people to sleep.
We'll have cameras. Jim Panda can come with me. You can be on oxygen. Hector Doctor, you can come with me. You can be on oxygen in the back seat.
But Jazz, you're boring people to sleep. You could be the cause of it. How do we control for you?
You guys are overlooking an obvious fact here. Problem. Chemo does not require oxygen. Have you heard how long he can speak sometimes without breathing?
That's true. That is very true.
So yeah, right now then we still have no evidence for atmospheric pressure. Evidence to support this idea. Where does the pressure come from when you?
But really, Jazza, what's the ceiling on your freaking helicopters?
It depends. I can hover in ground effect at about 15,000 feet, and I can hover, out of ground effect at 15,000, and in ground effect at 15, out of ground effect at about 20. But depending on the day, density of the air, and if it's a high pressure day, I can hover higher.
Shit.
But what does, I don't know what that has to do with.
I was just curious.
Oh no, let's just do this experiment, because if there is a pressure gradient, then you don't need a container. However, I will say this, that if the Earth is flat, you will need a container, even if there is a pressure gradient, which there is, which we'll prove, which is already proven. I don't know why we have to do it again. But on a flat Earth, you will need a container, but you only need walls. You don't need a roof.
Now you sound like Jeremy.
Where does the pressure come from?
What? Where does the pressure come from?
From the gas.
Okay. Let's just say you're a cheerleader, right? This is just an example. You've got 1,000 elephants sitting on your shoulders.
Oh my God.
The pressure comes from the 1,000 elephants sitting on your shoulders. When you're right up at the top of the 1,000 elephants, you don't have anyone sitting on your shoulders. There's no pressure.
Would this work also if you were a plumber and not a cheerleader?
You had 1,000 toilets on each shoulder.
Right. The top one with no pressure.
It works with anything sitting on your shoulders.
I'm just checking.
No, Jazza, you said the top one feels no pressure.
It works.
If we remove the elephants from the bottom one, will feel no pressure.
So it doesn't matter what you're using. If you're at the top, you feel no pressure. That's the pressure gradient.
Yeah, but you got to remember the atmosphere has no weight. You cannot weigh the atmosphere.
Jazza, how long are you gonna?
I was trying not to use I was trying to get around the word using weight.
That's it. The elephants.
Aren't they in the room, the elephants? That's where they usually are.
What's in the equation of weight?
Got this force.
There's probably an equal sign.
There's definitely an equal sign.
Yeah,
Nailed it.
What we're trying to discover, what is that force?
Is it density and buoyancy? Because what do they both have in that in those equations?
Let's change the meaning of elephants. But
No. Hang on. You were trying to change it to your other density and buoyancy to get away from that. So what do those equations have in them that's very similar?
Yeah, but I'm saying let's change the medium.
Okay. No, we're not changing the medium because we're living here right now, aren't we? So what do those equations have that you want to use? You want to swap that to that, from the atmosphere to density and buoyancy, which is all you got. But what is in those equations that's very similar to the other one?
What's in the gravity equation? There's a little R there. When was that ever proven?
Yeah, there is an R. But there's also a golf. And the golf exactly represents to the Roger.
What's he on about?
That's his wasted.
Sorry, I just heard G and R. I was using golf and Roger. Fucking hell.
Oh, right. You were trying to sound all piloty. I get it.
Don't need to sound it.
Well, I wonder why you're doing that then.
Well, if I wasn't, I wouldn't know, would I?
Kid mine seems to be the lowest point I can find so far at 8,900 feet below sea level. And for places people can go.
I must say, I think it is only pilots that know the alphanumeric alphabet.
Oh, military, police.
Phonetic alphabet.
Oh, God, guys are unbelievable.
Military and police definitely know it. I've heard them use it.
Oh, thank you for that, because I was being serious. I definitely thought it was only pilots.
Anybody with a complex name has to know it.
Bravo Sierra.
Sorry, Jim, about correcting you on the phonetic alphabet.
Oh, is that why you're doing it twice? Because you're sorry about it?
Oh, no, I just
or
heard you
is it
say
because
someone
you're
else.
trying to draw extra attention to it than it needed? Because I slipped up and used one word incorrectly.
No.
Okay. As long as it's not that, as long as it's important. Now, do you want to flesh out this apology a bit more? Tell me about why you're sorry about this.
Not at all.
Oh, okay.
Curious, with the conservation of momentum, well, let's say you're in space, right? Microgravity, and you have a solid foundation from which you can push off on. And let's say there's an elephant floating directly in front of you. How difficult would it be to vigorously push that elephant so that it like, achieves a decent velocity with your bare hands?
Sorry, were you asking me that question? And are we in zero gravity?
Yes, and anyone else wants to answer?
The simple thing is, like, take a boat. It's a very similar thing. And you try and push yourself a mighty 40-ton yacht. It's going to take a long time to do it, to get it up to a speed.
Yes.
What's up, Jeremy? Jeremy's in the house.
What up?
No Veach to run you off today.
Not much.
Oh, it's the mentally challenged hour.
I want to know why you guys claim to be the top Globers, and you guys don't go fuck with our top flat earthers like on Oakley or QE or anything.
Oh, come
Because
on.
they're cowards.
Why, Jem? Tell me why.
Because they're cowards and won't come in here.
Well, I mean, I have my own personal reasons for
Yeah, let's hear
not
it.
dealing with Oakley. Well, because he
Hey, Jim,
accused me of
can I
being a
explain real quick
paedophile
before you do?
and pretended he'd called the police live on his show. How about that for a good reason?
And Jeremy, I've spoken to both of those individuals. There's actually videos on YouTube. One, QE, Queer Eye. That motherfucker can't have a conversation with anyone. It doesn't matter what it's about. And Nathan Oakley is the dumbest motherfucker along with QE squared.
Okay, that's enough. Hey, Jeremy, I want you to take notice and understand that for illustration purposes, I've done this so that you'll not only know why, you'll experience why we don't. Do you get it?
I don't think I do.
I didn't follow.
I just muted him. I'm getting ready to unmute him.
Oh, that's
Oh.
funny. That's very funny.
Now, Jeremy, why were you so silent? Why didn't you have an answer when we were asking you? See, that's the point of it, Jeremy.
He left.
Jesus Christ. I told you. Oh my God.
Yeah, that probably wasn't
that was
a
very-
joke
that was very
was
funny,
going to
though.
be taken very well, to be honest, Kerr.
I tried to get in before Jazz rambled, but fuck me.
I took the joke very well. Thought it was rather funny.
It's
I got
straight
it.
to the fucking point. And look how he handled it.
I know, but he's been away
and
for days. He's been away for days. He's been run off, and within 20 seconds of him arriving, you muted him. I mean, you have to see how this looked from his point of view.
Yeah,
That's fair enough.
In context,
That's what flat earthers do.
why the question was, why don't we go
Oh.
over there? Curved demonstrated it.
Because Jim, do you run server?
Yeah, I don't know. He might have just disconnected, but it might be a reaction to Curve's joke.
What did Curve say? I'll have to listen.
No, but Jim, do you actually, is this your server?
Yes.
Because what you should do, just a suggestion, is encourage every flat earther from 24/7 Discord to come here.
Oh, well, thanks, Jazza. That never... What? You mean try and get some other flat earthers in here? That's brilliant. That's
No.
absolutely brilliant. Thank you. It never occurred to me.
No. But mute them and do their 3-question thing that they do over there. And
Then they'll go away.
individually flick them off.
Hey, did I hear correctly? Is there a helicopter pilot in here?
The one talking.
Yeah, I'm just curious.
Yo.
Are you suicidal?
I hope not.
Dangerous
I'm
helicopters are?
I'm not carrying any passengers for the next month, so hopefully not.
For yourself. Helicopters are really dangerous, man.
They're safer than cars.
Oh, this can't be good for your health, getting absolutely plastered.
I've had fog here for about fucking 3 months. So.
Have you ever had any close calls while piloting the helicopter?
I've had one.
What happened?
That I live in New Zealand. We have mountains very close, so the weather can change literally within minutes. And I did have one day that I had to ask for help from the big man upstairs.
Was the mountain coming and trying to like swipe at your vehicle?
No, I was flying up a valley and I got caught in cloud and could not see the ground anywhere, and I knew that there was a mountain in front of me.
And you started to believe in God.
I was gonna say that'll make a
No.
that'll make a God believer out of an atheist.
No, I didn't start to believe in God. I just literally within a couple of seconds said, God help me. And I went on my instruments and descended down and followed the river back out of the valley. And
it's almost like you used your training that you would have received to pilot the thing.
Yes, but I did ask for
So what? Does that mean that you received the help?
No, I'm not saying I received the help, but I was high enough above the ground it took
You were
long
closer
enough.
to God anyway.
I was closer to the big man than I was to the ground, put it that way.
How close do you have to be to God if he's everywhere? Or how do you get closer?
Why do you think he's everywhere? Who said that?
No.
Do you actually read the Bible, Kimo?
What?
Well, I'm not saying that.
God
I said
sits
just
above the circle.
I'm not talking
God sits above the circle.
You land
and
on
he's
the
everywhere.
Did you land on the
Do you know what
mountain?
omnipresent is?
What?
Do you know what omnipresent is?
Where does it say this? What are you talking about?
Fuck off.
Exactly. Don't bring your
come,
new age pseudo religion ideas, scriptures.
Jazza, did you have to crash land on the mountain?
No, fuck no. It was just a couple of seconds. I was in cloud. I couldn't see where the fuck I was. I knew there was a mountain in front of me. I did a 180 and descended, found the river, and flew back down the valley. And my heart was beating like a motherfucker. And I said to myself, thank you, good sir.
Did you have passengers with you, Jazza?
No, I was just by myself. I was going to pick up passengers.
So in other words, it was foggy out and you couldn't see where you were going, and so that scared you?
No, there was... New Zealand has a very... the weather can change here because we got mountains running right down the middle of the South Island, and the weather can change literally within minutes. And I was going to pick up some people from a hut, and as I was flying up there, literally within 30 seconds a minute, the cloud rolled over the hill and I was in cloud.
And being in cloud is a bad thing? Why?
Because you can't tell where your horizon is.
Have like one of those little horizon monitor things?
Yes, but actually, this is a very good point to bring up, because it happens so quick that if you lose your horizon, you have an artificial horizon in the helicopter, an AH, which is operated by a gyroscope, which gives you your level, ironically, perpendicular to the center of the Earth. But if you lose your horizon because you're flying visual flight rules,
this is really fucking boring, Jazz. And no one really wants to hear.
Don't ask him any more questions.
Okay. So if you can't just very
Gaza,
quickly.
just shut up. Nobody cares.
Okay, I'm just trying to tell the fuckwit flat earther.
Well, don't tell the
There
fuckwit
aren't
we
any
don't
flat
care.
earthers.
Not that care.
No
right?
one
He's right.
Oh, chemo. Oh, you don't care. Okay, that's good to know that you've got back
Just
to
get my
reality.
ticket ready and just save up for my trip. That's
Was it? Have you ever had? Have you ever earned your? You know.
All right, stop it.
Mile high helicopter sex.
right. Frost Knight, you said that you're a Glober.
Fixed wing I have, yeah.
Frost Knight, you're a Globe Earther, yeah?
I think the globe is the most likely model. That's where I'm leaning.
Yeah, but let's put down belief. What we think.
Oh, yeah.
Let's look at what we can demonstrate. To be yeah?
Well, let's set belief aside. It's sure as shit a fucking globe Earth. There's no doubt about it.
Based on my amateur understanding of the physics and things, I've concluded that my best guess would be that the globe model is slightly more accurate than the flat Earth. But I'm open-minded.
Well, like I said, we don't use models, right? We know that's a reification. Yeah, that's a fallacy. Okay, because obviously you'd have to know how the sky works, the sun, the moon, the stars. And obviously, how are you going to know that without actually going there, investigating what these things are? As you just said, you're going to give us. Guys, be quiet. As you said, you'll give us your best guess. So, what's the difference between a religious aspect of someone guessing that this is a particular religion, and you saying, "Well, I guess this looks like it makes sense to me"?
Okay, Chemo, that's the dumbest argument in the world, which proves the flat Earth is a religion because.
Frost. What's the difference between you having your guess, your belief, and a religious person? How do we get beyond just the guessing religious idea?
For me, it's sort of like betting on a horse, right? Mm-hmm. So you try to assess, like, okay, this horse has these stats, and you try to ascertain like which horse you think is the most likely to win. Mm-hmm. Now that horse may not win, but maybe it's statistically it'll have the best return on your gamble. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Yes. So your whole paradigm is based on a gamble.
If I were to put my life savings on flat versus globe, I would put it all on globe because that's just what I've ascertained based on my my understanding.
That's what I mean. If it's just like a belief, not really up for discussion, is it? Like if I believe in leprechauns, you can say, okay, that's nice. There's no real debate now. What I believe.
I'm always, it would be like insider. If you have information that could sway my judgment and give me a better return on my investment, I'm all ears.
Well, I'm looking at the judgment you already made.
Well, like this, right? Let's say I'm betting on stocks, right? And I say Amazon's going to go up or whatever. Yeah. Well, if Jeff Bezos whispers in my ear and tells me, hey, tomorrow we're dropping this really cool thing or whatever. Well, then now I'm clued in. I have more information than I had before. Now my gamble is more likely to succeed.
Okay, so that's what I'm asking you about, the information you already have.
You can provide me some information that will sway my judgment and give me a better odds on my gamble. Then by all means, I'm listening.
I think we can do that by looking at your information that you have initially. You understand? So look at what you believe, and we try and find out, does it comport with reality? Then you can make your decision off that.
Absolutely.
So that's what information do you have that the Earth is a globe?
Look at him try and turn it around. Isn't that cute?
Well, if you zoom in on a ship, you can see it going down below the horizon.
The physical or the apparent horizon?
Yes.
Which one?
Both.
Horizon.
I couldn't hear you. Sorry.
All of the horizon. Hey, Kimo, when are you gonna show us how you're gonna measure flat?
I thought the Earth was too big to see a curve, but then ships go over the horizon, and it's like, I don't know.
Cross night.
Are you really confused by that? Do you really not understand that idea?
Yeah, I'm puzzled.
Okay, well, I don't even know if I can be bothered to explain it to you, to be honest.
It's all right, man.
I don't think you are genuinely puzzled by that.
Well, it is puzzling.
All right, all right. When people say it's too big to see the curvature, they mean you can't actually see the horizon curving. You don't see a curve. However, you can see a ship go beyond it. So you still aren't seeing effectively a curved thing, but you are seeing the effects of a curved thing, right?
Also, it seems.
I don't think that's that confusing.
I think even most flat earthers would agree that if we were hypothetically on a giant ball, it would appear to be a flat horizon as well, right? From the ground level. Certainly you wouldn't, if it were on an extraordinarily large ball, it wouldn't, you still wouldn't see any curvature from eye level, right?
Would. If a ship was disappearing physically over the curvature, you would see that every time.
And I do see that every time.
You do see it every time.
You're not seeing it over a physical horizon, though.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. But why do we keep entertaining this dumbass argument that if you look out over like a large body of water, let's say the Pacific or Atlantic Ocean, that you see a flat horizon? Because we don't. There's nowhere that you go that I've ever been in the world or across the United States that I see anything that gives me an indication that this fucking planet is flat. Yet that's an argument that people just pretend is fucking true.
Well, what do they see?
You see the effects of a planet with topography
and refraction.
Okay. You don't ever see. I'm sorry, I've never seen a fucking ocean that's ever been flat ever.
Never seen an ocean that's been curving either.
Oh, I do. I see all the swells, the waves, the monsoons that move in, hurricanes. But I've never seen it flat.
Never seen it curving either.
No, I've seen the effects of it curving. Yeah.
Not over something physical.
Yes, absolutely over something physical. Came up. So, tell me how you measured this. Flat. Water.
Didn't.
Flat ocean.
Didn't.
Oh, you didn't. Then how do you know it's flat?
Observe it.
No, you don't. Not ever.
What do you observe?
That large body of water moving.
Yeah, but it's not curving, is it?
It's not fucking flat. It's not stationary.
Not bleak curving.
Oh, but it is.
Oh, where? Show me.
Look at any fucking surfing video ever.
A surfing? Oh, a wave.
Well, yeah. What do you think a fucking wave is, Kimo?
All right, you win that one. You're right.
I know I do. I win every one. Damn.
But the horizon never curves, does it?
Yeah, that's still part of the water. That's still part of the waves.
When do you see a curving horizon?
Any set of fucking waves ever?
So every horizon is a wave.
A part of a set of waves, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Always.
There
Yeah.
you go. Then your obstruction is just a wave.
It's part of the body. It's part of the body of water, isn't it, Chemo?
Yeah. You've got the answer now. Then it's just a wave. The obstruction is just a wave.
Well, I didn't say the obstruction is a wave. I said the water is part of a set of waves. Yeah.
Yeah. The
Or it could be
horizon,
between sets. Yeah.
when things go beyond the horizon, the obstruction is just a wave. You just said it's just a wave.
No, I did not say that.
You said the horizon's curving, yeah? It's a wave.
I said it's not flat.
Yeah, it's curving.
It's not flat.
Yes, because it's curving, right?
It's not flat. You haven't measured it flat. You haven't told us how you measure
Yes, you
it
don't
flat,
get
or
flat.
if you're ever.
You don't get flat waves. You get curving waves. That's what you said.
You don't get flat oceans either.
But you get flat horizons. But no, not because they're waves.
No, you don't.
I know. They're waves.
Never ever. Never ever.
Yes, they're waves. The obstruction is a wave.
No, I said there are waves, but I never said the horizon is a wave.
What is the horizon? Is it curving?
It's water.
Is it curving?
That's not flat.
What? It's curving.
It's not flat.
All right. Is it curving?
You tell me. Tell me how you measured it.
I haven't measured it. Have you?
I've done a lot of measurements, not particularly in ocean.
Have you measured the horizon?
Yeah.
And what did
Measured the distance to the horizon.
Oh, to the horizon, not the horizon.
I thought, but you said you have all the you have the measurements, you have the numbers. You're the numbers guy.
Yeah, 0 is a number.
Yeah.
Not going to win this one, Kimo.
What's to win? Talking about the horizon.
Yeah, it is. It's just silly, man.
Oh, right, it's Jerry. Yes. No, I mean, again, it's just what they do. They like to go around in circles. This is the.
Well, I mean, you're the one making the claims, Chemo.
You won't even say
that it's flat. That it's flat. Yet you didn't measure it. You don't have any, testable, repeatable demonstrations for that claim. Don't have any experiments for that claim.
Because we observe it. Observe it.
Chemo.
Oh no! You remember, observations aren't experiments.
I didn't say it's an experiment.
Are you looking at non-physical water again, Chemo?
What?
Are you looking at non-physical water again?
When?
You talk about the horizon.
What is the horizon?
Oh, you brought it up, so I have no idea.
Oh, we're trying to establish now with pure. Are you not listening? Whether it's we don't know if it's a wave, if it's curving. We don't know if it's curving or straight. We don't know yet. Got to listen.
You don't know it yet?
Pure hasn't said.
You still don't know. You still don't know.
Pure measured to
It's
the
good
horizon.
that you don't know.
Because Pure
How do you know that it's flat then? If you don't know what the horizon is.
Pure measured to the horizon and not the horizon.
Oh, if you saw that the horizon was indeed curved, would you just explain that off as being some sort of atmospheric lensing, or would you accept that the Earth is in fact round?
No, you have to show a measurement of curvature.
Well, he has to first establish whether water is physical or is it non-physical.
Physical, yeah.
Well, yes, I just remember yesterday it was non-physical water.
At the horizon.
Water's non-physical.
At the horizon.
Yeah, come on. At the horizon.
So if Moyak's out on his boat and he's out at the horizon, is he riding on non-physical water? What's his boat sitting on?
On water.
Is it physical water?
Physical water, yes.
So the horizon is made up of physical water. Okay, good.
Is that a question or?
I'm
It's just a
no, no,
statement. You
it's
said
it.
it. So
Yeah.
yeah, you
Hey,
said it. You said that it's physical water that the boat at the horizon is standing on. So the horizon is made up of physical water.
Is that a question or a statement?
Implication of what you said.
Well, let's be honest here. Photons act in very peculiar ways, so anything that we see with our eyes really isn't a great representation of the physical world.
porn stars do too. So which one?
I guess we're just trying to figure out if the horizon is physical or not. Seems to confuse globe earthers a great deal. The main thing you should recognize that nothing will go below the horizon. When you see obstruction, that obstruction is not physical. Know this.
The horizon's physical when it's close, but when it's far away, it's just being refracted. That's all.
No, even when it's close, because it's not geometric, they're not physical. They don't have geometry.
Well, yeah, that's my point. It's only physical when it fits,
The globe.
fits the
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Of course. So they're trying to figure out now where the Earth, which part the Earth drops from which horizon. So beyond the horizon, there's supposed to be a drop. But if that horizon is constantly moving, and there's no drop between 1 and 10 miles, what would make them think there's a drop after 10? There's supposed to be a drop after 1.2. And that's why the black swan is, it is.
Chemo, why are you so afraid of the globe model?
Models are misplaced on reification fallacy, in other words.
If the world was a ball, how would that affect you?
It would change the way we see the world, outlook on life, just a lot of things, right? We would pay our attention on other things. That's how it would change. Then we could focus on going to space, right, as a real thing. Right now, we know nobody's going to space. So we don't have to focus on those things. Now, you guys are all focused on Mars and the moon, space, when it's not really happening. You know? That's all things like that.
People focused on Mars and space. Harder and rocket, baby.
Whatever. You're all thinking about explorations, space.
No, I don't think about that much at all. Does anybody else think about that much at all?
Well, that's where the focus would be.
Oh, have you never seen Mars from a telescope?
No.
Well, if I show you, what would you say that is exactly?
Let's have a look. Here's a look.
Yeah, let me just grab the video real quick. 1 second.
So look, we've got Jerry here, guys. What are you afraid of? That Jerry will embarrass the globe earthers?
All right, there it is.
We want to discuss with the ball earther. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Okay, so yeah, that's just like a red light sky. Interesting.
Well, it's a ball, right? You can see the kind of the shadows and the.
Well, it looks round. Yeah, interesting. Is that you doing that? Yeah.
No, that's Chuck.
Oh, right.
What the hell is that thing?
Interesting there, yes. But that's just a light guy.
Well, it's a sphere in the sky.
You have to go there to be sure.
How far is it?
Hmm?
How far away is it?
Oh, I have no idea.
You can see it rotate actually if you look long enough.
Well, it's just awesome. I mean, it's just like, you know. Well, we just don't know if it's rotating. We don't know if that's just the light doing something.
It's this tiny little light that when you zoom in, turns
Anyway,
into a
look,
ball.
listen up. So, when you say things like, because we've got Jerry here, and if you're trying to bring him back to the ball, and you say things, well, I'm just betting on the Earth being a ball because that's how I feel, because bets are made on feelings. You're never sure. If you were sure, you would win all the time. So it's just based on what you feel. So how are you supposed to, explain to anyone how you feel that the Earth is a globe?
Well, I've believed things and have been proven wrong before, so I'm humble enough to recognize that even my most deeply held opinions can certainly be wrong.
You don't understand what I just said? You're basing your belief on a feeling. No science.
I mean, that's what empirical science is all about, is sensory input, right?
Science. You have science.
Because empiricism is using your senses to take observations, right?
Yeah, that's just an observation. What about the science part?
When you see things or feel things, hear things, you're just feeling them, you're sensing them, and you're.
What's scientific about that?
Well, then you have like an independent variable, right?
What?
You get the independent variable, and then you get the observations. Then you have a hypothesis, right?
See what I mean? This is how silly you sounded silly now. Talking nonsense. I'm talking about the globe. You have a feeling that the Earth is a ball.
A hypothesis that the Earth is a ball.
What did you observe to come up with this hypothesis?
Ships dipping over the horizon.
Yeah. So is that? Did you make a measurement?
I did.
You've drawn a tangent to the horizon.
Yes.
Oh, fantastic. Gives a look then.
A ball isn't an independent variable. It's just a noun, right?
We'll get there. We'll get there.
The horizon is approximately 5 kilometers away.
Again, that's what you feel.
No, that's my independent measurement.
When did you make this measurement?
Last Tuesday.
Let's have a look.
I measured it. I used a ruler.
I know. It gives a look.
Oh, did you want me to actually write down my measurement, or?
No, it gives a look at you making this measurement.
One thing, right? So there was this guy in ancient Greece or some shit, and I forget what his name was, but he found out that if you actually if you go up in elevation on a ball, the horizon dips down, and you can actually reverse calculate the radius of the ball based on that dip in the horizon.
I think that's Al Bundy.
Exactly. And what's interesting is the Earth does the same exact thing.
While you had that 5-kilometer tape measure out, you should have checked to see whether it dipped below the surface of the water.
It did, believe it or not. It was crazy.
Was it Stanley?
Craftsman.
Craftsman, all right. Yeah, the Craftsman 5K line I find to be a little bit inaccurate because it stretches about a foot over that kind of distance. So you're really better off with the Stanley one. It only stretches 3 inches.
Yeah, we actually corrected for that using reverse oscillations in the temperature. So we were able to stabilize the linear retraction of the heat differential.
Oh, okay. I guess that would work. It's an extra step you don't have to do with Stanley. And curved, I have to say that was a brilliant, although although Jeremy took it badly, it was a brilliant joke.
So Frost Knight, it doesn't sound like you're taking this globe thing very seriously. It sounds like you're mocking it by saying, I feel the Earth is a ball, and I've made measurements, and no, you haven't made measurements. Physical. Why would you mock the globe and the globe earthers and what they're trying to achieve?
Well, I have a confidence that if I were to measure it, it would be as the globe model suggests.
Uh-huh.
It's also like, you say you haven't measured it, but there's ways of measuring. Like somebody will say, yeah, I'm 3 miles away with my GPS on the radio. And you say that there's you can see with your camera that, let's say, a portion of the boat is missing. Now you've got whatever fraction of the boat is missing is your measurement. That's a measurement. Half a boat can be a unit of measure.
It's an excellent point.
I know the boat's 40 feet tall, half of it's missing, therefore 20 feet is missing. Very simple, Chemo.
Yeah, but I'm more concerned about feels the Earth is a ball without any measurements.
And you've seen lots of measurements.
What measurements have you seen, Frost Knight?
Well, the measurements that I've seen using a what's it called? The Theodolite, measuring the dip in the horizon indicates that the radius of the Earth is actually about 13,000 somethings or other. What was it again? What's the radius?
Help him out, Moyak. I don't think he's taking this seriously.
Oh,
4,000
it's 39.59, I think it is.
There we go. Yeah.
There you go. Go on then, Frost.
Got that mixed up with the circumference, maybe. But yeah, so 39.58 miles, approximately, to the center of the Earth.
So you said you saw the drop from the horizon, yeah?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Can you show me that horizon?
Sure, I can do that.
So a drop from tangent, or drop from horizontal.
What's that Muslim guy's name again?
Were you with Moyak when you saw this?
Bruni or Al Bundy? I'm not sure which one it is. I think it's Al Bundy.
Yeah.
He had a really hot daughter.
So Frost, you don't have any measurements of curvature?
I'll give you some measurements if you'd like.
Sorry?
I can show you a video with some measurements and evidence.
Yeah? Look.
personal favorites is I think it's in New Zealand. There's two ships off the coast at known distances, and one you can only see the cranes on top, and one you can see the whole ship. Very nice. And there's also the one with the container ships, one behind the other. Where you only see the containers because that other one obviously sunk. I wonder if I have those handy.
It's all refraction. Oh well.
No, if refraction worked that direction, I'd buy that. But refraction apparently doesn't work that way. So I'm going to go with the current line of evidence says it's not happening that way.
Okay. So this is your geometric horizon, yeah?
Yes. So this is actually a comprehensive scientific journal entry that it goes into all of the details, as well as recorded observations of the horizon dropping, and according to Bernie's mathematical equations.
How did they establish it was the geometric horizon?
Well, they used first they created a hypothesis, then they had an independent variable, and then they also used some observations and things like that.
I'm listening.
And they tested the hypothesis, and the hypothesis was that the horizon does not rise to eye level, and they found that the alternative hypothesis could not be substantiated.
Found the alternative hypothesis. What was the alternative?
Well, the alternative hypothesis was that the horizon always rises to eye level.
Yeah, but the horizon's not physical.
Well, it depends on how you look.
How can it rise to eye level when it's not physical? Look.
I mean, photons are part of physics.
Who's making that noise?
I don't know. What do you hear?
That is very annoying, whoever it is.
Would you agree that photons are physical?
Yes, no, maybe. Who knows? Do we have a test experiment?
How do you define physical?
How do I define what?
Physical.
Tangible.
If they were, then how do they pass through glass?
Cross night?
Yeah, I would say the horizon is tangible.
That's what I'm asking you. Can we draw a tangent to the physical geometric horizon?
Absolutely.
But how is that possible?
Well, the photons move, but the location doesn't.
But the horizon moves, yeah?
No, the photons that are coming off of the geometric horizon move sometimes.
So let's say if I'm a 1 foot observer, am I looking at photons for the horizon?
Anytime you look at anything, you're looking at photons.
Okay, but we're talking about the horizon, geometric horizon.
So, yes, photons would be hitting your retina, absolutely.
Okay, so does the Earth drop away behind that horizon, beyond that horizon?
Well, drop, I wouldn't say drop, but there's definitely curvature behind it, yeah.
That's what I mean. Is it curving up or down?
Really down.
It's curving down, yeah?
Yeah, I would say the average curvature is about 8 inches per mile squared.
Yeah, so you're saying at the horizon the Earth is curving down.
On average, typically, it's something, give or take. Sometimes it goes up, sometimes it goes down, but the average would be 8 inches per mile squared downwards. Yes.
Yeah, we know the formula, but where is the geometry? Where's that geometric drop from your observer?
That would be about 5 kilometers out.
Well, let's see it then.
Yeah. So the link there for you.
Yeah, that image you showed me is not the geometric horizon. That horizon will fluctuate.
Well, those are photons, yeah. How would you like to see something without the use of photons, though?
But I'm saying that if you keep the observer in one position, the horizon in front of him, the physical location where the Earth drops away. You're not showing that. You're showing a horizon that fluctuates, that moves continuously.
Are you suggesting that photons always travel in a perfectly straight trajectory from their origin to the observer?
Absolutely not. I'm suggesting that the horizon that you're locating is not of a physical nature.
Isn't that what Eratosthenes assumed, that they came in straight?
They certainly travel in a straight line, but they are diverted frequently by the surrounding molecules.
Okay, that's not an issue. What the issue is, where the Earth curve begins for the 1 foot observer. Now, if it's supposed to be 1.22 miles away, the horizon.
But why are you talking about seeing things now? And it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be according to what?
Globe. If the Earth is a ball of 3959, then the horizon should be no more than 1.2.
You're just ignoring refraction to say that, and then now you're talking about, and then in the same sentence you're talking about seeing things, which inevitably require the inclusion of refraction.
No, but the physical obstruction that you say is covering a boat or a mountain, we're saying to you that moves, can't pinpoint that location. So any obstruction you see will not be the same obstruction tomorrow. Not the same.
Sure, you can pinpoint the location. You know how to. Your question says how to pinpoint the location, right?
No, because it constantly moves.
It's 1.22 miles away from the observer in this example.
If the Earth is 3959.
Right.
But it's not, because the drop is much further away.
But that doesn't matter. That's all what you're talking about is where the geometric horizon is, not where you happen to see things, right?
But things do not disappear from 1.22 miles away physically. That's the point. They disappear 10 miles away.
When you got to 1.22 miles away, there would be stuff there, right?
No, there'd be no obstruction.
Well, there wouldn't from there, because you're looking at it from a different point of view.
No, if you're
in the same way as you could stand in front of a building and it will obstruct your view, but if you stand on the building, it won't.
You're 1 foot observer.
You have a different view, don't you? But it doesn't mean the building disappeared.
No, it means if you're a 1 foot observer and a boat goes away from you, physically it will start to disappear at 1.22 miles away. Physically, regardless of refraction or not. The boat will physically start to disappear bottom first. That's the location it should start disappearing first, regardless of any light refraction bending. Physical real world. In the physical real world.
The physical real world has refraction with light bending.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the physical.
You're talking about the non-physical, non-real world.
No, I'm saying physically.
Well, which one are you talking about? Because the physical real world has refraction and light bending.
Yeah, but the physical obstruction. Physical obstruction should begin physically at 1.2 miles away. That doesn't happen.
It should do, according to what?
According to your globe model.
My globe model includes refraction, and you've ignored it. So that's not my globe model.
You're missing the point. Regardless of the atmosphere.
I'm not. This is just a total and really obvious straw man.
Even if you include the atmosphere, physically, the boat will still disappear bottom first. In the real world.
No, it won't.
Physically.
Disappear is...
Disappear bottom first.
A product of somebody seeing it.
No, it would disappear bottom first.
But disappear for who? How does it just disappear?
For the 1 foot observer.
For it to disappear, somebody has to be seeing it.
Yes, for the 1
Right,
foot.
so now somebody's seeing it. Now you've included refraction.
No, I'm saying for the 1 foot observer.
But you're pretending you haven't.
Even
and
with
saying,
refraction.
hold on, this doesn't make sense. And that's why, because you're pretending there isn't refraction in this when there is refraction in this.
Even with refraction. Physically, it will disappear.
Just keep saying that.
Because what that means is with refraction, I won't be able to hit the boat because of physical earth. With refraction or not, I cannot hit the bottom of the boat because there's physical earth in the way. If I fire a bullet, it's going to hit the earth, not the boat. That's the point. At 1.22 miles, regardless of refraction or not, have all the refraction in the world. If I'm 1 foot, I cannot hit the bottom of the boat.
So what?
Because of physical earth.
So what?
Well, that's the point. It doesn't disappear physically at 1.22 miles. I can hit the bottom of the boat at 1 mile, 2 miles, 3 miles, 4 miles, 5 miles. I can hit the bottom of the boat in a straight line. I draw a tangent to that, wherever that horizon is.
How do you know that? You don't know that.
Now you get it, you see? That's the point.
The bullet is having up.
It takes ages to get the paint to drop. And that's the point.
Kimo,
Davros got it this morning with his argument, and now you're getting it. But the point is, in the real world,
Not getting it at all in any way. This is just you making a very, very ridiculously complex, when it could be very simple, straw man. That's all it is. It's just you, as always, as with the standard Black Swan argument, pretending and ignoring, pretending there is no refraction.
Have as much
ignoring
refraction as
it
you like.
completely and saying, this doesn't make sense.
No.
It should be here.
No.
How can this be explained? Refraction. Yes, but this doesn't make sense. How can it be here? It's a straw man. Stop pretending there's no such thing as refraction.
You can keep the refraction. Have as much refraction as you want.
And what have you established? That you think that you can't hit a boat with a bullet at a certain distance?
Right.
Or you can.
Right.
You don't know that in any way. You have no way of establishing it if that's true in any way.
We mark X at the bottom of the boat. We see the boat disappear at 1.22 miles physically. So the idea is we can't hit that X because it's behind Earth. But what really happens is that the boat will continue beyond 1.22 miles, and we will still be able to hit that X all the way up into 10 miles.
You know that?
Because the horizon's not physical. That's the point.
Well, so you're just proclaiming something to be true now.
No, we know the horizon's not physical.
You're saying that we see sea, we see ocean, which we know is a physical thing, and we see above it air, which we know is a physical thing, and the point where any location along that ocean where it meets or appears to meet the sky, at that point the ocean is not physical. It stops being physical, the air stops being physical, these things just become what? Imaginary? What are they? They're not physical anymore. So
I don't know what you want to call it.
What have they become? What is the non-physical ocean now?
The point is,
how do you categorize it?
Well, that's the whole point of the Black Swan, is that we still have line of sight. We can, even though we can't see.
So the whole point of the Black Swan is to establish that the ocean is sometimes not physical for no reason whatsoever.
No, even if you can't see.
Okay, so do you have a reason for the ocean to suddenly stop being physical?
Yes, miraging.
So a mirage makes the ocean not physical.
It's not physical, the mirage, is it? But it looks like there is an obstruction. But we can still hit the X even through that water you think is physical, because the water's not physical, just a mirage. But any obstruction you see, the X can still be hit physically, regardless of.
I don't think now physical is not a good word to use for this, because the mirage is still physical.
But we can't see the X, but we can still hit the X.
It's a result of light, and light is physical, right?
Well, we can't shoot through the Earth, can we?
No, we can't shoot through the earth.
Right. So when there's obstruction, it looks physical, but yet we can still shoot the X at the bottom of the boat.
Well, go on then. Prove that thing that you keep claiming is true in any way.
We don't need to. We've got the platform.
Because you've never done that. Nobody's ever done that, have you?
The platforms.
You've never hit anything with a bullet or even with a laser beam.
The
When
platform.
you've tried, you've given up and gone, oh, look, we see the laser beam. That'll do.
No. The platforms are obstructed. What you think is physical water. We could draw an X on the legs.
Oh, you need to prove. Why are you talking about what I think when you've just repeatedly made this claim about how you could hit this X on this boat, and yet you have never done that, and nobody ever has?
No one's done it, but that's the point.
Well, so how do you know it can be done then? Why are
horizon-
you repeatedly claiming that this is absolute fact that this can be done when you have no idea if it can be done?
Because the horizon is not physical. That's how we know this. It moves.
Here's an example.
Well, now you're back to your claim of physical things magically not being physical for some reason.
So the longest confirmed sniper kill was 2.2 miles, which should be farther than the geometric horizon.
1.22 miles, yeah. So exactly. Once that boat has physically disappeared.
But we don't know what elevation that was taken from, do we? Or the elevation of the target. So
Look it up, hold on.
Yeah, but let's just say now he can shoot 2.2 miles. The bottom of the boat has disappeared physically, but the X is still can still be hit in a straight line.
But again, that's your unsubstantiated claim, which your argument absolutely rests upon. So, do you have anything to substantiate this claim?
The black swan. That's the whole point of it.
How does that substantiate the claim that these things can be hit?
Because the horizon that was obstructing the bottom of those platforms has moved. It's now behind the platforms.
Again, so how does that establish that they can be hit with a bullet or a laser beam?
Because we had no line of sight today, but we have line of sight tomorrow at the
Do you
same
know
height.
that?
Because
How
of the black,
do you know that?
the black swan.
How do you know that you can hit them with a bullet or a laser beam?
I've just said, what was obstructed today is not obstructed tomorrow. So if we know it's not physical, we know it's just a mirage. So you could fire.
So those things aren't there at all. There's no oil rigs there. They're not physical. They're just a mirage.
No, the oil. So look where it's obstructed.
Are they actually there, Chemo?
Yes.
Okay. So,
but look,
what are you
look
talking about then?
Look with the legs.
But you said they're not physical.
No, no, I'm not.
Yes, you did. Didn't you?
No.
Are they physical?
The platforms are, yes.
Right. The platform. What? And not the stuff around them. The ocean, is that physical?
Not that water covering the legs. No.
So there's non-physical water in this image, is what you're saying.
Right. So we could fire.
I think I'm finished.
Well, there you go. That's why the Globers are confused. That's the big problem. Davros understood it today, and now you kind of
There's no such thing as non-physical water, Chemo. That's not a thing. It doesn't exist.
Well, the penny's dropping anyway now. It's taken us this long to get there. We could fire at those.
Dropping.
We could.
There's no such thing as. Your argument is dependent upon you making this unsubstantiated claim that you are literally about to make again, and on the idea that there is non-physical water somewhere. I don't think that's either of those things are true.
Well, again, the Black Swan shows that. On one day, we have no line of sight to the bottom of the platforms. So you're saying if we fire, we will hit water. But in reality, we can fire.
I don't know. I'm not saying. I'm not making any claim at all.
No, not you. Not you specifically.
You are. You're making the claim repeatedly, and you have no substantiation for it.
Well, again, that's what the Black Swan is all about. That's what it entails.
But the Black Swan does not show bullets being fired.
No,
at all.
I didn't say that. I'm saying it reveals.
Oh, that's what you require. You did say that. That's the thing that claim that you keep making, that if you fired a bullet, you would hit the oil rig.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, but how do you know that that's true? You don't know that that's true.
But you get it now. That's the whole point.
Kimo, first of all, the bullet is not never traveling in the straight line.
Right.
It have an up force, and after that, it's gonna go down. I have put it a graph with AK-47. The
No, we
bullets
can
there
use.
from the
It's a
bullets.
ridiculous
No,
thing
no,
anyway.
we can use
So
one of those.
you're so away from everything, Kimo.
No,
Stop
we
it.
can use one of them rocket bullet things. I forgot those projectile things.
Rocket bullet things. They're gonna
Yeah, I
have a
forgot what it's
downforce as well.
called.
They'll have a downforce as well, Kimo.
What
Shut
are they?
up.
They are those projectile things that they fire out really quickly.
They're still affected by gravity, you knob.
Yes, but they would still fly in a straight line for as long as we need to.
No, they don't. Everything's got a ballistic trajectory, Chemo. Come on. Everything.
Anyway, Jem, you get it now. Davros got it today.
I get it. You are making a completely unsubstantiated claim. Your argument is absolutely dependent upon this completely unsubstantiated claim. So, good for you.
No, the point is to understand...
Snafu, as they say.
No, we haven't done that. I'm not saying no one's fired. I'm saying, but the point is we understand now that when you fire if you were to fire a bullet, you would go straight through that, what you think is water, and you would hit the bottom of the platforms.
Got a demonstration of that?
No, we've only got the black swan that shows the horizon in front and behind.
I can avoid, Kimo, I can avoid the curvature of the earth with a bullet, believe me. I can avoid it. So
anyway,
it's not gonna go straight.
I think we
so
get it
anyway,
now. Brian is here now.
No. Stay with the point if you want to
I've got
embarrass
to
yourself.
go. I'll be back in a minute. Give me a few moments. So Brian, I don't know if you understand this argument, but because the horizon's not physical, we could fire straight through and hit the bottom of any object that's obstructed, because the obstruction is not physical, essentially.
Yep, completely with you there, Chemo.
Welcome, Brian.
I know my 30-06 drops 80 inches and 500 yards. I don't think I'd have any trouble missing the horizon.
So now Kimo is the expert in ballistics as well. So very good. Good to know it.
Why don't we test this and use Chemo as the independent variable? He'll stand at the geometric horizon, and then someone will fire shots at an X on his torso.
I'm gonna say it like a joke, and please take it like a joke. I'm gonna be offered like a volunteer to do it.
So Rumpus's test's been cancelled.
Oh, what test was Rumpus doing?
He was doing like the Bedford levels again, weren't he?
Well, I thought I'd heard something along those lines.
Yeah, this weekend I was supposed to be going down, and he messaged me yesterday and said he's had to cancel it for a week or two, maybe 3.
Oh, bummer.
Because he's realised there's a bit of work to be done, moving all these fucking posts over 6 fucking miles.
Well, this is it. This is what people don't think these things through, do they?
No, obviously not.
It's 6 miles away, and there's no way to get between one and the other, apart from. I mean, I can remember when the flat earthers did it, and I remember seeing that lad set off in his canoe, and I was thinking, do you know how far 6 miles is in a fucking canoe? Jesus, you're gonna be fucked, mate. And I think there was a kind of look in sort of behind his eyes where he did know that. You know what I mean? And he'd managed to sort of press gang himself into doing this marathon.
We done the Stratford what's it race? The what's it called now? Fuck. On the Avon there.
Right.
And that was only like 6 miles, and it literally took us all day.
Right.
We stopped and had water fights most of the way. RAF race, that's it, the RAF race.
Right.
And it's a fucking, you can't go very fast on water, certainly not fucking man-powered anyway.
Right.
It's, The logistics, I think he hadn't quite looked into it deep enough.
I think he looked into it. I think the problem is he's just had trouble rounding up at the people.
Yeah, well, he said he was having trouble getting the posts and the tubes together or something, and
I'll come down for it. I wouldn't mind doing it.
Well, I was supposed to be going, weren't I? But we're at Silverstone this weekend coming anyway, so it was going to be a bit of a push for me. So I'd prefer it to be cancelled this weekend, to tell you the truth.
Right, well, keep me updated, because
I will do, yeah.
I might go to that and have a laugh. Are any flat earthers going then, apart from yourself?
Well, Bev was talking about it, but I never got a yay or a nay out of it. That's, I think that's about the only other one. I was going to go because I've got no malice against anybody. I know there's a few that got it against me, but I'm not bothered.
I won't be going unarmed, put it that way.
Sad, isn't it? Oh, what a fucking lovely day. You see that picture I just posted?
Did it all just go very quiet? Was it just me?
Yeah. Are you still coming to Donny when we're there?
I don't know. When are you at Donny?
I don't know. We're out now. I'll have to have a look on the... We've got a wall chart at work. We're at Silverstone next weekend. I'll have to let you know. But we're trying to drum up a bit of new custom for next year.
Aye.
Give some people a free go in the cars on this track day. But they've got to have the budget, you see, that's the problem.
Yeah.